Today on this bonus episode of CityCast Pittsburgh. Earlier this week, I got to talk with some runners who gave us a bunch of great tips for folks who want to start or restart running here in the city. Spoiler, you can skip that fancy watch, although no lie, I love mine. But we got so many recommendations for where to run around here that we're doing a bonus episode here in our main feed. I'm back with expert trainer Donald Robinson of GH Performance in Point Breeze and Dan Lampman, the founder and president of Yin's Run Club. It's still Friday, March 21st. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. So I am still with Donald and Dan, and we talked forever about running and did not actually get to the hard recommendations about the best places to do it. So we're going to do that now as quickly as you can. So best route for newbies. Think like short, flat, like maybe spots nearby where you can go to the bathroom if you're not used to dealing with that element. What do you say, Donald?
Frick Park. There are at least 4 bathrooms that I know of in Frick Park. There's one by the Bowling Green. There's one in the Hollow. There's usually one by Lower Frick Park. There's one up by the Environmental Center. There's things for everybody in Frick Park. It's not completely flat, but there's parts of it that are flat enough for long enough of a stretch that if you're a new runner, you're not going to be trying to run 5 miles anyways. If you're going to run 5 miles, you need to run hills. But you can run about 2 to 3 miles in Frick Park with doing the minimal amount of hills, like just a staircase, honestly, if you park by the tennis courts. Love Frick Park. You can do off-road trails to get away from humans. You can run up really steep hills. If you go from the Bowling Green out to 9 Mile out by the Monongahela River out towards Homestead, you can get a really long run in out there also. You don't even need to leave Frick Park to get a 10-mile run in.
What about you, Dan? Best spots for newbies?
Find a river, find a trail next to it, and run there. Usually they're very flat. Usually there's incremental bathrooms that you can find, and they give you a chance to see the city in a space that you don't usually get if you're driving around. Millville Trail is a great place to park to get to and then use their restrooms. There's usually a bathroom by the Spray Park, right by Ellis School, right by Bakery Square where the baseball fields are. There's a bathroom that's usually open right there, but people get there early because of the tennis court, so I would recommend that.
Shenley. As much as I don't know why I didn't think to talk about Shenley, there's literally a measured track so you can know exactly how far you're running.
That's true.
And there's also a gravel loop on the outside that are like that's probably the most beginner friendly if you want to know exactly how far you're running. Because if you don't spend all that money on an Apple Watch or a Garmin watch, you actually might not know how far a mile is, but you can go at the track and know how far a mile is.
And actually, one more thing, Highland Park, we haven't really talked about. Highland Park has the reservoir that you can run along. That's absolutely flat. And separately, if you want to get, more engaged in a controlled environment running hills, the actual drivable and walkable path around the Frick Park Reservoir, not the reservoir itself, but around the reservoir, does have hills, and it's less than a mile around. So if you wanted to work your way up to running the Pittsburgh Hills, that'd be a great place to start. That's where, a place that I used to run all the time and my partner ran and when she got started.
So actually, let's go to that. Any hills that you high key love running on? This is a hot take. I'll start actually. I'm going to go with Riverview Park. I think it's fantastic for running on hills, but staying on concrete if trails scare you, because there's no way to get in and out of Riverview Park that you are not going up and down the entire time.
For sure. This one's fun and it's absolutely a hot take, but Donald, running straight up Negley is so much fun. And I straight up, the way that I know it's fun is that you almost always, if you're on the other side of...
Is this from a training run or is this from marathon experience?
This is just from Dan having a good time.
Okay.
If you're across the street at the corner where the church is, and because you always get stopped at that light, and you just stare up at the hill, you're across the street, you're waiting for the light to go. It is like a countdown to you taking on the big game or whatever. So find the best song that you need motivation for and just take off when that street light goes, and you'll regret it halfway up immediately. But you'll have a great time doing it. When you get to the top of it, it's the most satisfying hill you can run.
Okay, you picked a much larger hill than me. Donald, what you got?
Oh, I have too many. I'll give you three. One, Fire Lane Trail in Frick Park from where the soccer field is, running all the way up to the top to get towards the environmental center. That is a killer hill. It's on a trail. Running up to the environmental center anywhere to Frick Park, great hills. Running bridges. I love stacking runs, long runs, and just going across as many bridges as possible. And like the bridges all have inclines on them
Yeah.
that vary from like the Fort Duquesne Bridge downtown by the point is like a pretty steep incline, versus like the Hot Metal Bridge, which hardly has any incline at all. So there's a lot of variability there. And then running up Homestead up 8th Avenue, when you get off the Homestead Grace Bridge, either actually
Yeah.
going up the bridge into Greenfield past IHOP or going the other way up to Munhall from the waterfront also is a really great hill.
I also like love that runners know where everything is. Like y'all know every landmark, every street, every
Uh-huh.
stoplight. Like you've got it like locked in the encyclopedia here.
Ask me wherever any church in the city. I don't know the name of it, but I could describe you the outside of it.
Any favorite trail runs you haven't already mentioned? I know y'all are obviously Shenley and Frick stands.
I got one, and this one, the name's cool, but also the when you run it, you can be kind of in a canopy a little bit, so it feels like more like you're running through not just the forest of Pittsburgh, but you kind of get taken out of the fact that you're in Pennsylvania. Dead Man's Hollow is a great place to run.
Where's that
Where
one
is
at?
that?
Don't ask me that question. You can Google it. But there's a like couple things that are like old. There, I believe there's a couple old structures that were like old coal and steel structures.
McKeesport. It's in McKeesport.
I've never run over there. I run my bike. Oh, I've run my bike through there. Oh, I have run through there. Oh, I
Yeah,
do know
right.
that place. I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, it's awesome. I absolutely would say that. It's not too long to put like it's not like you're gonna get lost or anything like that, but it's a cool little like you don't really know where you are. It's a little bit new to you, and you get taken out of the fact that you're in Pittsburgh a little bit because of the way that everything hangs, like the trees hang.
My recommendation, Butler Freeport Trail. I have not actually run it. I've only ridden my bike on it. But for this actually similar reasons, the tree lines have a nice canopy, and I really like running next to water. And so you get to run across some river that goes up there, across on the Butler Freeport Trail.
Yeah, it's Little Buffalo Creek. I've actually done the Buffalo Creek half marathon up there. It's gorgeous.
Oh,
And they have
sweet.
hot cookies at the end of it. They have cider. It's right in the fall.
Ooh.
It's like a vibe.
In the summertime, up 15 miles up from where Freeport is, there's this little like bike place. It's called the Derailer. It's called the Derailer. It's a little like bike shop slash restaurant. You can get smoothies and burritos and stuff in there.
Mm.
It's 15 miles up the road from Freeport on that trail.
So, okay, favorite long distance run. Again, something you haven't already mentioned.
I circle the city. I'll just go from, I'll go down to like Highland Park Bridge or like down
Okay.
to Lawrenceville and go all the way around up the north side, up to like the prison, come back down, go along the south side, either all the way to like the Hot Metal Bridge and like go up to Greenfield, or I'll go, I mean, if I'm going crazy, I might go to the waterfront.
How long is that loop?
Oh, I mean, it depends on where I cut the loop off. You can make the loop. You can cut it to make it like 10 miles. You can make it like 20 miles.
Donald, I really want to see your Strava like screenshots.
Anyone that's run that's trained for the Pittsburgh Marathon or any marathon in the city has absolutely done what Donald just talked about, because the only way to get a lot of the miles and not keep going back and forth is to run almost in every neighborhood when you're doing your long runs.
Which
So
is
you
good
will,
practice for the
yeah,
actual marathon
100%.
because you go through every neighborhood and that's part of the joy of it because it's like a huge party all over the city.
Exactly. And that's why Pittsburgh runners are badass, because you can't avoid the hills when you end up doing those marathons. But I would say,
But it does make everyone's marathon and half marathon time a little bit slower than it might be at another city.
a little bit, but when you go to the next city and it's a net downhill and it's a flat one, then you're going to crush it and you're going to qualify for Boston. But I would say if this was a little bit outside and it's not all in the at the same time, like running the same distance,
Mm-hmm.
but go to North Park and the boathouse And doing that loop is really nice. And
yeah,
I'd
it's like
say that
right around 5 miles. So you can
right
do it a
around
couple of
5.
times and get a
Yep.
nice long 10-mile run. Also, you can like run it once and then get on your bike. I used to do this on Saturday mornings before I had a kid. It was a glorious day.
I do that too. And also the fun part is if you want to bail out and you have friends that you went with and they want to keep running, make sure you have a chair in the back of your car and then you just hang out in the parking lot and sip coffee. And I've done that plenty of times.
Any inside spots that you would recommend, like an indoor track or anything? Like I genuinely I can't think of a single one in Pittsburgh. Do y'all?
Nah.
No.
Pittsburghers just have to learn how to do this outdoors in any condition, I think.
Yeah.
Like I think the Cranberry YMCA in Cranberry has like an indoor track upstairs.
So if you're really desperate to stay out of the elements, you can run up there.
Yeah. I think, and if you work at Pitt, you can, use some of their indoor track areas.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I think the YMCA in the Hill might have an indoor track up top. I'm not sure if that's right or not.
We'll check it.
But in general, if you're running indoors, be careful of the quality of treadmill that you use. Treadmills, because it's this, if you run in a way that might exacerbate a injury, running on a treadmill, you'll just keep hitting the treadmill in the same way that might lead to further exacerbation of the injury. So try to find a newer treadmill because those are of higher quality. If it's one from the early aughts, 90s or 80s, you are not in good shape.
You know what? I do have an answer for you.
Oh, okay.
Studio 39 in Lawrenceville. It used to be called Stride, but they must have, I don't know, privatized it or whatever. I don't know what they did. But it's like a spin class, but on treadmills.
Okay.
And they're like nice woodweight treadmills that are like pretty good on the body impact wise. Some other treadmills I've used, and the class is fun. Now that's not free because it's a gym, but that place in Lawrenceville actually is a cool place to run. It's the only place I will run indoors. I refuse to run indoors. I won't run. I will run if it's 5 degrees outside. I won't run on a treadmill, except at that place because it's fun.
Okay. That's a hot take. Any other favorites that we have not talked about that folks should know about?
You should absolutely run when it snows. The ambiance and sound of your foot hitting packed snow is magnificent, especially early in the morning or like on a weekend night when if you're in an area where nobody else is at, like a daytime trail, a weekend on a trail or in the morning, running on packed snow, like you just hear the noise of the shoe rubber hitting the snow and like there's no noises out. It's like, so it kind of echoes. It's so therapeutic.
Donald, I'm with you, but do you ever bust your ass doing that?
I have not. I think I've slipped once, but it was because it was actually icy, not from packed snow. You won't slip on packed snow, especially if you have some tread on your shoes. It's if there's ice, you might slip, but ice and packed snow are two very different ball games.
And all I would say is, to that point, get trail shoes. That will help you out. Get tread. That will help you out. But I would say that to cite a specific trail in Frick Park, roller coaster trail in Frick Park is a really fun time. It is a bike trail. So if you go when there's no bikers, it just winds. You are going downhill. This is not for the faint of heart. It really is a good time though.
And you never know if there's going to be a biker, so you just got to be ready to jump out of the way.
Exactly. So,
but if you go in the wintertime with the snow, there's no bikers.
There's that. But if I can set the scene, just like Donald set the scene, go find your favorite movie score, put it in your ears, run down that trail. You'll feel like you're running through your favorite movie, if that movie is in some way, shape, or form an action movie of some degree. You'll have a great time.
That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. And we did, in fact, double check. The YMCA in Cranberry and the one in the Hill District, they both have indoor tracks if running outside is not for you. We'll be dropping more bonus episodes soon. And y'all, they will usually be exclusively for our members. They actually got another bonus episode last week. So if you want all the content all the time, sign up at membership.citycast.fm.
I would also say running around Moraine State Park is a really fun time too.
Oh yeah,
Because
they
there's
got
a
some
little
good
bit of
trails up there.
water. Yeah, and in the summers, it's most fun to run with your dog in the summers, in my opinion. And when you go up to Moraine, they can also just like jump in the water for a second and cool down. So take care of your pup and also have a good run.
Yeah, and bring towels because that can get messy real fast.